Hello and welcome back to another Leeds United match review. And here we are in better circumstances than last week's match review, as we didn't get stuffed 5-1 by our biggest rivals. No, we drew 2-2 against Everton. So hopefully I will be a little bit more upbeat about this one. There are some positives to this game, but before we get into it, you know what I'm going to say. You know what you need to do. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, don't smash it. Just hit that one and comment down below what your thoughts are on the Leeds Everton game, what your thoughts are on my thought, whether you think I'm wrong about something, whether you think I'm right about something. Leave a comment, subscribe so you do not miss a video, and click the like button as it helps in the algorithm and helps more people see it. So thank you very much and let's get on with the review. So to start off, we'll talk about the fans. It's the first time Elland Road has been full in a couple of years. It's the first time Elland Road has been full in the Premier League for 16, 17 years. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, but on the stream that I was watching, it looked incredible. The atmosphere looked amazing. I really wish I could have been there, but that's what happens when you live in London and you work weekends. Hopefully, sometime in the future, when I'm older and I don't need to work, I can move to Leeds, get a season ticket and be at every game. But being a southerner, it's tough. You can't get to Leeds every weekend, it's too expensive. The train takes ages, but there we go. The fans that were there anyway looked like they had a great time and they really fired up the players, Leeds and Everton. I felt like they gave both teams an extra 5 or 10% and gave them a little bit of a kick to the game. Literally, Raphinha. With us playing 3 centre-backs to counter Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, that brought Ayling into centre-back, which I'm not a fan of Ayling playing centre-back. I think when he comes into centre-back, we really miss him on the right side, overlapping Raphinha, cutting in with Raphinha, playing the passes with Raphinha. I mean, he's solid, but I feel like he just goes a bit missing. But with Ayling playing at centre-back, we had Dallas at right wing-back. But hopefully when Llorente comes back, when Koch is back, because Koch wasn't in the squad today because Koch had an injured pubis. And no, I'm not making that up. That is 100% true. But hopefully when they're both back in the team, Ayling won't have to play at centre-back. Ayling can stay on the right and we'll have 3 actual centre-backs playing centre-back. But yeah, down the wings we had good link-up play. Firpo and Harrison are starting to get to know each other. They looked bright in the first few minutes, playing some passes in between. Firpo starting to cut inside as well to make some space for Harrison down the left, because our system is very heavily based on the wing plays. Like, we like playing it down the wings and then getting the ball into the middle for the shot. And with that, Ayling tried to recreate his goal against Scum. It didn't go as well as that time, but it's good to see that he has the confidence to take a shot and try and add to his goal tally. A word on Raphinha. He was playing stupid games from the first whistle to try and get Patrick Bamford sent off, or booked at least. He should have been booked a lot earlier than he was, but Bamford and Mina both booked at the same time. They were just getting on each other's nerves, weren't they? Mina was getting on my nerves. I'm sure Bamford was getting on Everton fans' nerves. It's just one of those things in football, isn't it? But yeah, Mina was a nuisance the whole game, I think. But he did well to keep Bamford quiet. I felt like Bamford was very isolated in this game. Up top by himself. He didn't get that much of the ball. He didn't have that many chances. And I feel like if you want to beat Leeds, you have to win the midfield battle and keep Bamford isolated and quiet. Because Bamford is very important to our game when he drops back into midfield to get the link-up play for the wings. So if you can keep him quiet, there's a decent chance you're going to get something out of the game, which Everton did. Now let's talk about that penalty, shall we? Liam Cooper. It was a stupid decision from Cooper. It was a bit of League One Liam coming back, coming out to say hi in the Premier League, making an appearance. We saw it a couple of times last season where he just has that lapse in concentration and he makes a stupid decision like that, which cost us, really. They both had hold of each other and then at that last minute, he drags him down. It was a penalty. Like, you can't really argue it. I think as soon as it goes to a VAR check, it's going to be a penalty. As soon as the ref goes over to the monitor to check, it's going to be a penalty. Meslier nearly gets to it. It's just another stupid, needless error from Cooper. And I do think when all of our centre-backs are fit and ready to go and in form, I don't think Cooper starts. I know he's the club captain and everything, but I don't think he starts when all of our centre-backs are ready to go, because Llorente is straight into the team, and he does like to play a right-footer and a left-footer, and I think Struijk edges it out of those two. I know he's young and is still learning, but I just think he's got that little bit extra than Cooper does. Calvin Phillips being back in the team was great to see. We all wanted to see him back against Man United. Bielsa was probably right to not rush him, because he's still getting his fitness back from the Euros. He didn't have a full pre-season. He is behind the rest of the team in the fitness side of things, but it was good to see him spraying his passes out to the wings, and we saw that in our second goal as well, which I'll come on to a bit later on. But for our first goal, it was decent play. You had Raphinha getting hauled down, manages to get a ball to Bamford, who makes an absolute mug of Michael Keane, and slides it into Klich, who can get a shot off and score. I think that will do wonders for Klich's confidence, because as we know, he had a dip in form at the end of last season. He had a hip injury as well. He's played pretty much every single game of Marcelo Bielsa's reign at Leeds. So hopefully that'll give him a boost, because when he is on form, he is brilliant. Bielsa has said that Klich could play in any team in the world, which I think is a bit of an exaggeration, but he is good. And when he is on form, he can solve that problem where we lose the game in midfield, which I think we have done in both games this season. The second half, I'm not sure how Gray scored that goal. I'm not sure how he was able to get the shot off. I think our defence should have closed him down quicker. They shouldn't have let him get a shot off. Fair play to him for scoring. I mean, it was a difficult shot to take. It was a difficult angle, and he pulled it off. I know I sing Dallas's praises a lot, but he shouldn't have given him the space to shoot. I know it was in the box, and he probably didn't want to give away another penalty, but he should have been on him. He should have closed him down quicker. It just needed to be stopped, and it should have been stopped. But yeah, fair play to Gray for getting the shot off. He's a great signing for Everton, and I think he will be one of their players of the season. Before I go into individuals, I think we'll talk about Leeds' second goal. What a strike from Raphinha. Like, we know he is class. It was just that little bit of Brazilian magic that he's got, wasn't it? It was a great ball in from Phillips. A little bit of confusion with Cooper and Struijk, but they get it down between them. A nice little layoff and an absolute bullet of a strike. There was a few extra points for my fantasy team as well, because he always scores against Everton. That's his third goal in 3 games against Everton now. Pickford didn't have a chance, did he? He did not have a chance of saving that. Brilliant technique. And that made it 2-2. And after it became 2-2, we didn't want to settle for a draw. We were fired up a bit more. I think the crowd started to get behind the players again, and they wanted to get a winner. I feel like if the game went on another 5 or 10 minutes, we would have got a winner, but a football match is 90 minutes, and we didn't get a winner. If you asked me before the game, would I take a point? I don't think I would have. I feel like we are a better team than Everton. They're not really anything special. And a fully fit and firing Leeds United... God, that was all the Fs, wasn't it? A fully fit and firing Leeds United beats Everton hands down. I think if Cooper didn't give away that penalty in the first half, we would have won the game. We had the momentum at that point. The point is better than none, and there were improvements from last week. A bit on Tyler Roberts. He got subbed on for Klich. I never get excited when Roberts comes on, or when I see his name on the team sheet. Yes, he is young. He is still young. We forget about how young he is because of the amount of time that he's been at the club. But he gets so many chances, and he just doesn't cut it for me. He doesn't do anything with the chances that he has. I think he needs to be loaned out so he can play every match and he can improve, because he won't get the match experience playing for Leeds. He will be on the bench. He's not a starter for us. He'll be on the bench and he will come on and play the last 20 minutes, the last 15 minutes. He's not going to get the match time that he needs at Leeds United. Bielsa obviously knows a lot more than I do, because he sees him training every day. He's an incredibly knowledgeable man, and I am not. I just don't see what he brings to the team. And he doesn't deliver on the pitch either. He didn't play poorly, okay? He didn't play poorly, he didn't play badly. He does some good things, but he just misses that final 10%. It's always a poor shot at the end of a move, or a stray pass that gives possession away. Hopefully that 10% will come soon, and the faith that Bielsa is putting in him will be repaid, but he's just not for me at the moment. Someone who is for me, however, Jamie Shackleton came on at the same time. Maybe I thought he was going to come on in the centre of midfield as well, which is his natural position. But Bielsa seems to see him as a right back, which you can understand with the pace and agility that he has. He can run at players. He can run at the fullbacks. He always looks bright and sharp when he comes on. I really hope he can make a mark on this team this season. I think every Leeds fan in the country is hoping that this is Shackleton's breakthrough season, because he really deserves it. And I know a lot of the youth team players are getting loaned out or being sold. We just don't want to see that happen to Shackleton. We want him to be a part of this team. Junior Firpo, it was his first start for Leeds. And to start off, he looked decent. He was linking up with Harrison well. They're starting to get to know each other a bit more. They know where they're going to be at different times. Firpo was starting to drift into the middle a bit to create some space. But he needs more time to get fully match fit, because his time at Barcelona, he didn't really play a lot. So that match sharpness he is lacking, and that will come with the more games that he plays. It was a fairly fast-paced game to make your debut in. So understandably, he did get tired and had to be subbed off. Calvert-Lewin did well with Liam Cooper. I think Cooper really struggled against Calvert-Lewin. Yerry Mina was a nuisance from the beginning. And speaking of Mina, we should have had a penalty in the last minute of the game where he drags Bamford down. Well, I say last minute, last second even. It was literally the last thing that happened in the game. Whether that was why we didn't get a penalty, because the whistle had already blown, who knows. VAR apparently checked it, but did they just gloss over it because the whistle had already gone? I feel like if there were 5 minutes left and that happened, it would have been a proper check and we would have got a penalty. And we should have got a penalty, really. Like, it's that consistency in the officials' decisions that we're still missing. If DCL's was a penalty, this was a penalty. But yeah, Mina and Bamford were at each other all game. It was a classic battle between a striker and a centre-back. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, Ayling was fairly quiet today, playing at centre-back. I prefer him out at right-back. It was nice to see some of the under-23 players on the bench. Charlie Creswell, Cody Drama and Crescencio Somerville. They are three of the best players in the under-23s, and I do feel like all three of them, along with Greenwood and Gelhardt, will make their debuts this season. Maybe Lewis Bate as well, that we signed from Chelsea this summer, will start to push into the team. But this game wasn't the right game to play an under-23s player that's never played for the first team before. Bielsa's just building up their experience of a first team match day before he throws them in. Like, you look at Robbie Gotts last season, he was on the bench so many times before he actually got a minute. But hopefully we won't be waiting that long to see them, because watching them against Crystal Palace under-23s, when I went to the game last week, they are very exciting players, and the future at Leeds is bright if they have anything to do with it. Signings-wise, we all know that we could do with another centre midfielder. Bielsa said in his post-match interview that he doesn't see anyone coming in or going out. Hopefully, in that case, Forshaw will be back soon, because he was good for Bielsa before he got his injury. But it is going to take him a while to be fully fit and match ready after 2 years out. So we don't want to rush him. We don't want him to get injured. Wingers-wise, I would like to see Somerville getting some game time. I feel like Somerville is now ahead of Costa in the rankings, especially if we're not going to sign anyone. I feel like Somerville just isn't scared to take on someone. Maybe he'll get an appearance against Burnley, who knows. All in all, there were some decent spells in this game for us. There were some bad spells in the game. Defensively, we should have been much better for their goals and in general. We need to tighten up a bit. We need to get the basics right. And I think when they are fully fit and match ready, we will. And when Llorente comes back at centre-back, we will tighten up and calm down a lot more. And we just need to start controlling the midfield again. It was very much a better performance this weekend than last weekend. And it was something to build on as well for next week. I think a draw in the end was a fair result. We could have gone on to win it, but a draw is definitely the right result for that game. Hopefully next week Llorente is back, as I've said before, because I really would like to see him and Struijk at centre-back together. And then hopefully we can get a win against Burnley. We should realistically be beating Burnley by 2 or 3 goals. It's not a given. Nothing is a given in football. We should get a win, and hopefully we can start our season properly from there and kick on and start to move up the table, get the points in. And in an ideal world, like I said in my predictions video, if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. Get another solid mid-table to top half finish, because as Angus Kinnear, the CEO, has said on multiple occasions, in your first season up in the Premier League, you have a 50% chance of relegation. In your second season in the Premier League, you also have a 50% chance of relegation. So the aim for this season is to stay up. We don't want to do a Sheffield United. I don't think we will do a Sheffield United, but that is the aim, to just stay up. Hopefully we'll have a better season than last season. And I think a better season than last season is more points. Positions-wise, that could change. We might finish 11th, but get more points than last season. We might finish 8th, but have less points than last season. It depends how the league pans out. But yeah, it's something to build on. It's our first point on the board. I was really blown away with the amount of people that watched the last video. It's on over 1,000 views. I wasn't expecting that. So thank you very much if you did watch the video. Hopefully this video will get a similar amount of views, same amount of likes. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment on what you thought, and don't forget to subscribe, because subscribing is very important, as it lets me know, as well as liking the video, that you want to see more. But yeah, like the video, click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week.